Hey, hey, everybody. Welcome to Friday Night Live Tribe. We are here again on Purpose and Productivity. And tonight is a special night because I'm going to switch because I brought him on. You saw him, but we have a guest, and I just want to tell you a little bit about him. He's a serial entrepreneur. That means he's done this more than once, more than twice, but he's the CEO of Alphana. He's also one of the co-founders of Alphana. And as y'all know, I fell in love with the product. We'll hear more about that later. But Alphana is a content management system, and I'm going to let Sebastian tell you about it. What I want you to do most of all is welcome him, bring your questions so that he can answer them and you can get to know all about how this tool will help you be productive as a content creator. So I messed up, but I'm going to make it right. I'm bringing him on right now. Welcome to the show, Sebastian. So glad to have you here.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here as well. And thank you so much, Florence, and everyone for bringing me on board. I'm super excited to be here.
Awesome. I don't even know how I found your product. But I found it some kind of way. Before we do all of that, I said you were a serial entrepreneur, and I didn't tell them a whole lot because people who don't know you and have never heard of Alfana, this is their opportunity to get to know not only you, because I think one of the secret sauces of the product is actually the team that you lead and you and how you give back. Um, but I would love for you to tell a little bit about who you are and your background and how you came to be a serial entrepreneur. That's fascinating to me.
Absolutely. I've been an entrepreneur for as long as I can remember. I started out as a DJ, turned that into a side hustle, started up a couple businesses. I just love the business aspect. I love music. And I had an opportunity to work at a record label. So I worked at Universal Music and got to work with different artists, talent, creators of all sorts, right? But I always had a side hustle. I had a web design company, and then I did marketing, and then all these things that we had. And so for me, I essentially kind of took a lot of my learnings. And while working at Universal, I just knew I had this itch to scratch. And, I got together with other co-founders and we started up a company. And I ended up, quitting my job, which is probably a story that happens to some people. You end up starting something on the side, you quit your job, and started up this agency that we had, and we started working with a lot of great clients. And from there, it just kept going. Built up an agency, then built up two software ventures. Then we ended up getting acquired, and I took some time off, and now you know, started building a company called Alphana, and now we're 2 years in, and that's kind of where it's very high level, but going from building companies to music to where we are today.
Wow. That's a journey. Starting as a DJ, there is something about this tech, music, and medicine. I have no idea what it is, but there is something there because we tend to kind of operate in the same circles. Half of my friends are in tech, and the other half are either in music or medicine. I don't know how that works, but I'm gonna start
Mhm.
with something that I kind of like this. You do it every week, and I would love to hear. And we're gonna greet you guys. To see you over here in chat. We're gonna get to you in a minute and let him see all the folks who are joining us this evening. And if you have a question, you know to put it in the chat. But you run Insider Live every week, so you're with us, your community, every week. Where did the inspiration of just having a weekly get together with your community, your clients, the people who are using your product, how did you come about that idea?
It's a great question. For a while, we didn't have a public community. We weren't creating content, and we because we're so focused in building our company, building the product, meeting with so many creators, founders, marketers, and just people who are using our product, and because we're very much we want to be able to improve it for them, right? And it kind of came to be where it was like, well, like of course we're going to create content. We always say this, right? Like, I know I got to start, but we're so caught up with our day job and what we're doing, and that's what was happening for such a long time. And so I remember at the beginning of the year, I'm looking at, it's 2025, and I'm like, like we gotta create more content. We gotta do stuff. Like, I use the product all the time, but I would grab my Zoom meetings. I would put video. Like, I would grab so much content, right? Bring it into Alphana, because Alphana would let us like repurpose that video and turn it into other content. But then I was like, well, we need more content with, from what I heard with customers was like they wanted to learn more about the product. They were searching through the knowledge base and they're like, wow, I only use like, this feature in Alphana, and I didn't realize you guys had this other feature until I went here. And I kept hearing this for so long, and I was like, okay, like we've got to do this. So I opened up my calendar, opened up a circle of community, and I sent out an emails invite to everybody in the community. And I was like, we're gonna do a weekly session called Insider Live. I made it up on the spot, put it together, threw it in, and I permanently put it in the calendar. I said every Wednesday we're gonna do a live session, and I blocked it off in my calendar without knowing at all what I was going to talk about, what we were going to cover. I just knew we were going to touch on like some sort of power hour and AI and helping people with their content. And it kind of forced me to like pause everything we're doing, pause product development, marketing, working with customers, like all this stuff, to just focus on how we can build community, meet more members, and help to be able to educate them on how they could literally automate a lot of what they do from a content perspective and their daily lives. And whether or not that's with our software, you will always come out of our sessions learning something new, right? And we try to pair what we do with our tool and our software and our AI to be able to help them. But if you went to another company or another provider, you would still have lessons that you could take with you. And it started like that on day one. And every week now it helped to be able to do it. And and we kept it on. I keep doing it every single week. And what I love about it is when like you jump on and other community members and other power users come on board and they just start asking questions. Like, it has nothing to do with the topic that I decided right before the session that we were going to cover and what we're going to walk through, and we get to go live. That's actually funner for me. That's like, I enjoy that more, right? And so I think building community and getting live interactions with people you work with or tools that you work with on a day to day is super important. You can't let that go. You'll learn so much, you'll enjoy it a lot more, and it helps you to adapt and figure out like, well, you as a company, as a product, like where should you go, what direction, and it always comes out in those conversations.
Awesome. I learned so much. One of the things that I shared with this community, in one of I did a month on just using Alphana, learning to use
Hmm.
it as I was getting better, and in one of those conversations I shared with the community that if you study how you use Alphana and what Alphana does, it will force you, just because you're using the product, to become more efficient and effective at how to write a prompt, whether you're in Alphana or not. Since then, I shared with some colleagues this week, even, that learning to prompt effectively helps you become a better communicator. And so you may not have been intending to teach us that, but you're teaching us that. Just want to let you know.
I appreciate that. Yes, some of my popular sessions came down to like prompt engineering and writing prompts. I noticed I get a lot of engagement there, and it's helped me as well. It's helped me make the product better, right? On one side, and number two, writing better and being able to articulate more of what you have in mind. If you're writing prompts for, and for those of you maybe if you're not as familiar, but the prompts are like what you are putting into like a chat GPT or an AI platform that's giving it instructions on what you want. And it could be as simple as, create a blog post for me. I'm just keeping it very simple. And I think most people, when they're interacting with these AI tools, whether it's ChatGPT or another software, when they write a prompt, they usually do stuff that's basic like that. It's like, I need to write a blog post about productivity. And ChatGPT, Claude, and the others will give you a result and you'll get a blog post. And it'll be like, wow, okay, I got a 500, 800 word blog post or whatever it is. And then you hear a lot of complaints of like, well, I used an AI and I asked for it for a blog post or to cut clips or to create a carousel image for Instagram, as an example, but it didn't come out the way I wanted it. I hate it. AI sucks. I hear that side of things, right? That happens. And it's like, okay, when you go back to the root, it's like, well, because you wrote, create a carousel for Instagram, create a blog post that I could put on my website, and it had no other context and it had no other specificity or details into it. But if you came in and let's say one of the complaints is that the blog post wasn't long enough, or it sounded too much like AI and robotic, or it didn't appeal to my audience who are looking to increase their productivity and save 20 hours a week or whatever it is. So what we do with our prompts, like they're usually like this long if I had it right, a lot of our prompts, and it's very detailed, and it's like, well, okay, well, what is the tone that you want the blog post to be about? Who's the target audience for the piece of content? You want to describe that. How long should it be? And not just on tone, but should it be written at a sixth grade reading level, or do you need it to be at a PhD level? And so it helps you to kind of really think through of how you want AIs to be able to respond to your needs and what you're trying to do by adding that type of level of detail inside of it.
Okay, great. I'm going to go ahead and see some folks out here. So, some of the folks who are watching, um, and I got
Sounds
got
great.
people wanting stuff from me. I I have to tell you. Gang, I'm gonna bring you up on the screen in 1 second, but somebody's asking a separate question, so I just need to deal with this real quick. My apologies. I'm gonna handle this real quick. But we got some folks in the chat with us, and I am gonna bring the message up on the screen here in in a second. Technology is a wonderful thing. It's too bad that I've been doing this for, I won't tell you how many years, but probably more than some of y'all are alive. So let's see who's out there with us. We have got, let me switch and say hello to some folks. Of course, we have Mr. Frank Jackson, who happens to be in the lounge with us, talking about David is first mellow yellow, first, I don't even know. Um, Hello, emotional CEO, who also happens to be one of the moderators on the channel. Welcome, Friday Live Tribe. So glad to have you in the building. We also have Ananea is here with us this evening. Glad to have you in the building, ma'am. So happy to see you here. And James Hicks is talking to you, Sebastian, talking about, I'm an old Technics 1200
Techniques.
man myself. Respect.
Yeah, I love it. I got to get my turntables back.
Uh, and hello, Ravens Talk with Yolanda. So glad to see you, Yolanda B. Uh, I feel for you. I know, I know how you feel right now with what's happening with our Ravens. Um, okay, so he's trying to come and cause some trouble behind the scenes. Oh, Brian, y'all. And of course, here in the lounge with us also is Tora, waving at folks, saying hello. And we got a couple of other folks that I just shot some information over. So some of the folks who are here, and we've got a few folks who are not saying anything in chat. So welcome one and all. Glad to have you here with us this evening. And we're gonna continue this conversation. And this is really just a conversation for us together to learn a little bit more about this product and the service and how it can help us. One of the things your product does, you describe, is that it helps creators uh, basically get unstuck and build their
It,
content workflows. You have a
Yeah, it
unique approach to that. I would love for you to just share with the audience um, your approach, the Alphana approach to building workflows for content creation, because it's very unique from my
yeah, it's
perspective.
so
Like the
just
template
to level
flows that you
set.
can build. Yeah.
Yeah. So to kind of level set, right? Alfana will take any video, audio, or a podcast as an example, or let's say a video on YouTube, and we'll ingest that content. We'll learn, we'll transcribe it, we'll analyze it. And based on that video or that piece of content, we will then repurpose it into over 30 other pieces of content. And so some of the content that we'll repurpose it into could be things like, 10 short clips that you can use for like Instagram Reels or YouTube Shorts, blog post, newsletter, LinkedIn. We can generate YouTube thumbnails, images. Just think about a wealth of content that could be used. And what we don't want is for videos that we put out, let's say on YouTube, a webinar or a live stream, we don't want that to go to waste. There's usually a lot of tidbits and insights that are involved inside of these videos. And so we try to extract a lot of those insights and create new content for you. And what makes Alfana unique that you were mentioning, Florence, is the way that we think about the workflow and how we structure and templatize our process of how we're creating this content. So typically, like if you might want to, let's just say your job is to part of your job is like, all right, I'm gonna create a blog post every time every week, or I got to post content for social, like create captions for my video, create a LinkedIn post, create a thread, generate images. Most of the time, you're probably doing the same thing, but for a different topic or a different subject or whatever is inside of your arc. For like if you're telling a story or whatever you're creating, and but you're doing the same thing over and over again. And so we try to structure that with these templates in a sense that, like, all right, you might have one prompt, and you might at first spend 20 minutes trying to perfect the prompt and putting it so that it gets it right. Let's say it's for a blog post, but now, when you upload your next 100 videos, you don't have to touch that prompt again because it's going to be structured in a way to create the content in your voice and the way that you want it. And so we have this emphasis up front of ensuring that you kind of put together what your workflow is like. All right, these are the 5 or 10 or 20 assets that I want to generate every single time that I put out a video, a podcast, or a webinar. And this is how I like my tone, my framework. You save that once, and then you can reuse that for 100 plus times as an example. um, and so, and again, this is where it goes, where it doesn't just apply to Alfana. This applies to just about anything. Like, try to find the things that you're doing on a daily basis that might be repetitive. It could be as simple as, copying something from one page to a spreadsheet, and you're doing that manually. There are AI agents that can help you to facilitate that, right? And if, especially if it's something that you're doing daily, if it's data entry, I'm just making up an example. And so it's just finding productive ways to be able to um, uh, look at what you're doing on a day-to-day basis and to be able to eliminate some of the time that it takes to do it, or to amplify what you're already doing.
Wow. So that's one of my favorite features, by the way, that I can build the exact flow of what I want the content to do once I put the video in. But it doesn't have to be a video, right? You can have other forms that you can
Yeah,
put
right.
in.
Right now we support video, audio, or you can copy and paste a block of text from like a PDF or a blog post or an article or something like that. That could be like your source content to be able to generate everything from.
Okay, awesome. We got a couple questions coming in from the community, so I'm going to get to these because their questions are more important than mine. If I can do this right. I don't know why I'm deciding I want to be weird today. So, one question from Tori is for someone brand new to Alfana, where should they start? What's the very first thing you tell them to try?
Great. So the first thing I would say, just to see a little bit of everything, when you get into Alfana, there's a template called social posts. And so what I would do is I would grab, if you have a video, go ahead and grab your video and upload it. If not, you can grab any video from YouTube as a great test and put that into Alphana. And I would select a social post. Social post essentially gives you a little bit of 10 short clips. It'll give you captions. It'll generate an image. So it gives you a little bit of content all from that one video to kind of tease it and give you an example of what it looks like. After the trial, we unlock over 120 different types of content. I mean, we're probably over 150 now of these content cards that you can use to be able to generate more content from. But that would probably be the first step I would do is just test it out, see the content, um, and then from there, personalize it, update your custom instructions, which are like your settings, and then try to work on a template for what your typical workflow might look like.
Okay, awesome. We're going to come to the next question because now they decide and they want to ask questions. All right. The next question is from James Hicks. And he says, is there multi track editing ability for videos we ingest into Alphana? I'm not sure I understand this question. Is there multi track editing ability for videos we ingest
That
into Alphana?
that's a great question. If I understand it correctly, we're essentially wanting to be able to have probably multiple videos or multiple clips and be able to edit the tracks in a video editor inside of Alphana. But no, okay, I see you, James. I don't know if you have more clarity around it.
I want to say something and Florence slapped me though, but
Go ahead.
so the platform. So good to meet you, man. Good to meet you, and
Good to meet you.
great conversation. We'll talk about them techniques a little bit later. Um, the platform, the encoder that we're using, that Florence is using, is Ecamm, and allows us to have isolated audio and video tracks as well as the full mix. Now, if I was to be able to bring in isolated audio and isolated video into Alphonic, can I edit those two separately, or do I have to only ingest the full mix of like a session like this?
Got it. Great question. No, you're essentially going to export the final video. So it's going to be the one that has both mixed into it. So it won't be separate files. Because essentially, Alphana, don't think of it as a, let's say, a video editor or what you're going to do to like enhance the video and add a bunch of animations or other things to it. We're going to actually take the finished product and then find you the short form clips that you can use for YouTube, for TikTok, for Instagram, and clip it from there. But it's not going to handle the multi track. It's going to have already the final finished product. Then we take it and we create now another, let's say, 20 or 30 pieces of content from it.
Gotcha.
So we're
And I guess
very much
follow.
in the post production process, if that makes sense.
Gotcha. Not just to follow up, and then Florence, I'll shut up. Uh, what Tora was saying, kind of along with this, what's the extent of that editing that we can do, right? Can we auto reframe? Can we do the captions like everyone else is doing? What are the capabilities that we have when we start creating content within Alphana?
Great question. So let's say you bring in your long form, we will find you 10 segments. And for the vertical clips, we automatically reframe the speakers. So if you've got two or three speakers in the video, we will detect the faces or detect whoever's the active speaker and either reposition or focus the frame on that main speaker. So that happens once you export the individual clips from Alphana. Um, so you could do that. You can enable captions. Right now we have one style. We're working on a more enhanced video editor that's going to give you a lot more functionality, but we're just not there yet. So for now, what it does is it has one style for captions, but you could choose like a color or whatever it is. But Alphana is going to be more of less of a like a video editor to go make all of your videos look really great. There are other tools out there, like let's say if you want to upload the video, a clip you've got and put it into, I don't know, Opus Clip as an example, right? They have a ton more styles for the video. Alphana is going to be really good at taking an entire workflow to generate everything from video, image, text in all these different forms.
Mm.
And so if you think about like, I got to generate my captions, I got to come up with YouTube titles that are going to be catchy. I got to come up with the YouTube thumbnail. I got to generate, like, now I've got my podcast episode and I got to send out an email newsletter. It'll draft it. I got to do a blog post. I want to post on LinkedIn, on X, on Threads. We'll create one workflow with all of those elements set up to the way that you want it and have it ready for you. So it's more of a all-in-one to be able to handle all these other elements, if that makes sense.
That does make sense. I appreciate it. And that actually answers my next question that I had, Florence. So you don't even have to put me on the screen. Because I know in my head who your competitor is or who you're matching either feature function for. So now I'll do my pros and cons as I start my Alphana trial today. Okay.
Beautiful. And if you need help, you could always reach out to me on once you're in the app. I got a little support chat. Just say talk to a human and I'm happy to help. All right.
Well, I'll test that. I'll make sure there's a. Let me see. Appreciate
Okay.
you guys. Thank you, Florence.
Thank you. Great question.
All right. David asked the following question. Did I hear you say that Alphana is going back on Absumo for a lifetime deal again? I don't think I heard that. I don't think I heard
No,
that.
we get a lot of requests to come back on AppSumo. We have no plans as of now to go back on AppSumo. So, but I appreciate the question. AppSumo's great. I love them. We had a great launch, but it's important for us to be able to drive more people to our platform and to be more sustainable with our current pricing.
Yeah. Um, all right. Uh, I'm not going to ask that question because you just answered it, James. And then Tora asks one more question here, and she may have no, she didn't. I want to make sure I get your question in because I know you're on a short time slot here. When Alphana picks clips or creates summaries, how much control do users have to adjust or tweak what it puts? And I think you kind of answered this, but I didn't want to assume.
Oh no, it's okay. Yeah. So once you create content inside of Alfana, we kind of force you to make edits to the source prompt versus editing the output of the content. So if it drafted a summary, you won't be able to edit the exact summary that's there. Instead, you'll be able to edit the source prompt because this is something I also teach, right? We don't want you to use it for this one-off purpose. I want you to come into Alfana, edit the source prompts, and you want to keep editing it until it produces the result that you wanted, because then you're going to save that. And what should happen is the next 100 videos, it will generate in the format that you wanted it to, right? Now, don't get me wrong, you might do a couple edits outside of it, but we really want to make sure it gets you almost to 100% in a repeatable process. So you do have to edit the source prompt right now. All the prompts that we make in the platform, we actually expose it for you. And we do that on purpose because once you go into the platform, you're going to see the prompts that we have. You're going to see the structure. And like Florence said earlier, it helps you to even learn how to handle the prompts, but it also helps you to see like, oh, I didn't, the result didn't come out the way that I wanted it to. And when you read the prompt, you're like, oh, that's why. Maybe you just had to make an adjustment to a couple things inside of the prompt, and now it's more personalized for you. So that's how we handle it today.
And James likes this part, which is one of my favorite parts too. He says, "Oh, you can save prompts. Now that's nice."
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
so what's really important with the prompts is that you actually save a template. And so a template is going to comprise of multiple prompts. So let's just say you have 20 different prompts for content you create for whatever you do, right? A podcast or a webinar, whatever it is. Now all 20 becomes one template. So now when you upload a video, you select that one template, it'll execute all 20 of your saved prompts all at once.
Yeah, I love that part. That's the workflow um, enhancement that doesn't exist in anything else that I've found, and I've tested a lot of them. We do have somebody else who joined in the chat, Brian, 24-hour boss. Hey there, Brian. Glad to have you in the building with us tonight. And I'm just looking to check to see if there are any other questions real quick. I don't see any other questions from anybody in the chat, so I'm going to move along and ask the following question, which seems to be obvious, but I want to ask it because I want everyone to be really, really clear. Who is who is Alphana designed for? Who did you build it for? Because it's a unique approach, in my opinion.
Definitely. So I'll tell you who Alfana's for and who can also use it, but it's not. I already know who's going to get the most value out of it up front. Um, we initially built it for what we label it as video creators. Okay, you're already creating video in one way or another, whether it's from a podcast, whether it's a video you put on YouTube, whether it's ongoing webinars, or if you do sales calls and you're recording your conversations, because Alfano works best when you already have video content to use to be able to repurpose. Okay. And why? Because when you're creating video and you're putting it out there, there's a ton of things you need to do after you have the video. Like you just finished shooting, you recorded, you edited, you made all these different tweaks. And now it's like, well, how do you get the word out there? And what other content can I create? So those who are using it, they're creating video already. Who's that? Podcasters, YouTubers, marketers, founders who are creating content online for their startup or their business. Those are the ones that are primarily coaches, instructors, like a ton, right? Because they're either doing these live sessions, they're building community, they're always recording lives. And so that's what I would say. Alphana is for them. If you don't create video, can you use Alphana? Absolutely, you can. But if you don't understand the pain it is to be able to take a video, cut them into pieces, and then create a ton of other content from it, you're probably not going to see as much of the value because you haven't gone through the manual, painstaking process of doing it. So that's why I say it's not typically for them. Now we have this like other segment of users on Alphana that actually they don't record video, but we have an ability to be able to take any video from YouTube to create content from. And so people can use that to be able to curate content. So let's just say your industry is in productivity or something like that. You could find a lot of videos about productivity and you can clip them and find the most interesting segments using Alphana. Then take that interesting segment. Let's say you grabbed a 1 minute clip of that video and you could share that on YouTube Shorts or Instagram Reels and add your take on that video. Like, holy cow, I just watched this video about, how to save 42 hours a week. And here's what I learned. But it's not your video. You're talking about somebody else's video, but you were the curator who watched that video and put it out. And a lot of creators actually like that. It's called clipping because they're spreading the word about that person's audience. And so uh, that is not a primary method, I would say. It's not primarily for people who are just using it for that purpose, but that's like a secondary purpose for Alphana, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And since James, James, just say what you just put in chat, please, so he can respond to it.
Here again, like I say, I'm causing trouble behind the scenes. So, Sebastian, so you're not having the same issues with grabbing videos that we don't necessarily own off of YouTube? I know a lot of other platforms when we put in if you put in a URL to a
Mhm.
video and you don't own it, there's folks are getting error messages from YouTube, right? Because they're wanting to limit spam and want to limit trying to repurpose content
Right.
that you don't necessarily own.
Yeah, it's probably been a good solid 10 months, and we've been able to bypass that for ever since we've had that issue with our platform.
And that may be
And
worth the price of admission right there, brother.
we work really hard on that. Yeah. So give it a shot. You can grab any YouTube video, pop it in. And we have retries because if it ever, for whatever reason, you see it down for a second, you give it a minute or two, you're good. We're on it pretty quickly. Yeah.
All
Mm.
right. See? Learning something new.
Hey, that's how the Miami boys be though. Okay, see, that's how the Miami.
So
But I always say this: if you grab the clips and you post online, just give a little credit back to the creator. That's what they really want,
Good point.
honestly, you
Good
know?
point. Love
The
that.
creators want it. They
Yeah.
want people clipping. People spend tens of thousands of dollars to pay other people to go steal their clips and post it on their social media. Like they want you to grab their clips. But they want attribution, of course. Just keep that in
Right.
mind. Yeah.
So David is asking, how long is the alpha? David, are you here in chat? Are you able to come off mute? He may be driving. How long is there in typing? How long is the Alphana trial? Is there a special for today? A special dispensation.
Asking
I'm
for
not
a
gonna put that
friend.
other word in there. Y'all say that.
I love it. He's only asking for a friend,
He's
so
only asking for a friend.
I totally get it. Yeah, so I want to explain actually the trial so you guys can get an understanding. So the trial is a 7-day trial, but with the 7-day trial, we cap the number of credits that you get in the trial. So you get 200 credits from the start. Plus, you don't get access to the full library of content that you can create, right? So you only get like 3 to 4 key templates that you can use to be able to generate content from. The reason we limit the amount of credits during the free trial is because AI costs are pretty expensive, right? From pulling in the videos, digesting it, to analyzing it, and then all the AI credits. So we do limit it for that purpose. If you're working on it and you need more time to try, I'm happy to help. You can shoot me a message in the chat, and if you really just want to keep testing it, I can open it up some more for you, and maybe Florence, I could work out some sort of discount code, and you can send it out to everybody in the community. I'd be happy to do that for everyone here too as well. But but it is important. Just know that the trial is not the full product. So there's a lot more to it once you get past that trial.
Yeah. You have this card approach or methodology where each piece of content is it's a card. But on top of that, you do something that I haven't seen anyone else do, and that is you are constantly week over week over week basically making ready-made workflows for the community to use and adapt and they're fully functional. How did you come up with that idea? It's genius.
It so the one thing that I've learned for a long time, and especially with my past startups, is flexibility. You need to be able to have a flexibility to be able to create a custom tailored approach to whatever it is, because every individual, even on this call, is different. Your workflow is going to be different. The way you want your content's going to be different. And so for me, and the way we thought about this is like we had to have a flexible approach to how you are going to extract content from Alphana, and we needed a simple way because every single day and every week something's changing, and we need to be able to adapt. And so we built this what we call an AI card system, and think of them as like Lego blocks. Okay, each card is essentially you can have one of your saved prompts, like what James was mentioning earlier. You have your prompts inside of the card, but it also displays the content in a certain way, like whether it's images, text, or the video clips. And so every time that we see something new, or we're coming up with new ideas, or if we're trying to figure out like how do we get more value out of the product, we build out new cards and load it into Alphana, and we publish it for everyone to have access to. And so what's great is that every week you get a whole new set of content cards that you probably never thought of to be able to create. And an example of that is like, one week there was something we did. We released like a ton of different ways to create images. So it's like one of them was like, hey, take the insights from my video, and I want you to design images and carousel images that turn them into visuals. Take the lessons and convert them into visuals, and it can create like a flow chart map or a journey process or anything like that based on the insights from the video. And we released it to everyone. So now all of a sudden the platform just got better because you just click that one card, and now it'll design a visual all based on the insights from the video, right? And so we've done a ton like that. We have one called the Wall of Insights. Imagine if you had a cork board or a wall and you put sticky notes all over the wall. Well, what we do is we analyze the video, think about what should be on those sticky notes, and we populate an entire cork board or a wall with those insights. And now you have that as a graphic or an image that you can use for your email, your blog post, or a carousel image on Instagram. And so that's what it is for us. It's about flexibility, being able to adapt and move quickly. So if there's a new trend that's happening right now, or something that's out there, we want to be able to roll that out pretty quickly for everyone.
Yeah, I love that. The other thing you do is, as people are getting started, and I still call myself a newbie in this content game. Um, this month, so just so you know, and I don't know if I share this with you, Sebastian, this month is my anniversary month. So this is year 3, and every year since year 2, so year 2, I did this, the mo the month of October, I take to use as, where have I come from? Where am I learning? Where am I going? And have other people kind of, I'm gonna say, pick me apart, but really give me more guidance. So that's, you're in that tribe now, sorry for you. But, eh
I'm glad to be.
and this, what you open up the mind to think about using content differently, like whole new use cases, is the point that I'm making. Because people think about just one way. I want to just make a short or a TikTok reel or whatever you call that stuff. But you've made it so that you force people using your product to think about, what else can I do with this? And I want to say thank you as a newbie.
I I really appreciate that.
So
Anything that we can do to help with it, and it's always good to hear and be reminded of it. But I really appreciate that. It really is something that we have to help make your life easier, make the process easier, help you come up with ideas because you're juggling probably 100 million things. And for a lot of people, this isn't like they need help, and this is our way of being able to help.
yeah, absolutely.
Mm.
I've got one more question, and Tora has a question here, so I'm going to throw it up and get her question in first. This is, unless you want to come off mute, Tora, and just ask it. You want to do that? Guess not. I don't hear you unmuting. A lot of creators struggle with perfectionism and burnout. How do you envision Alphana helping users overcome the mental fatigue of constant content creation? Tho- Those are actually two. You can go a lot of ways with that.
Yeah, it's a lot. I struggle myself with perfectionism. I always want things to be perfect. It's also a reason, and it's funny. I don't have it in my office now, but I had it for at least 10 years on my wall, and it was "Done is better than perfect." And it was a quote from Mark Zuckerberg, right, from Facebook or Meta. And it was kind of part of their philosophy, right? They move quickly, they break things. But I started kind of iterating off of that for a very long time. You could spend, nothing is going to be perfect. It will never be perfect, right? But most people, because they chase perfectionism, they just never put anything out there. They never create content and put it out there. Or they have this idea for a business and they think about it and they start building it and they do all of this, and years go by and that business never launches, right? And we can't do that, right? It really is like, done is better than perfect. You got to get it out there into the world. Let the world tell you if it was perfect or not. Like, I put out my live streams every single week, and I'm hearing all this from Florence and from so many other community members about what they love about it. That if it was for me, I would not do it. Because if I had to sit and record a scripted video, I probably would never put it out there. But like I mentioned at the beginning of the session, because I put it on my calendar, I said every Wednesday I'm going to do a live stream, and what happens at the live stream happens, and we're always going to put it out. I have no time to figure out and try to perfect it. I put it out raw. The only edits we do is what we use with AI to cut out the ums, the has, and parts that are glitched, right? But that happens like in a quick instant. There is no finessing on that video content, and it's because I have to remind even myself that done is better than perfect. Get your content out there. Don't stress it. And it's the same thing even with the algorithms. They're going to tell you whether your content is good or not. And so let them tell you. And if your content doesn't perform well, iterate on the next one. That's all you got to worry about. And if every time that you put out a piece of content, you just make one small improvement, that's it. That's gold right there.
Awesome. So they're getting into detail. So I'm going to bring up a question from uh, Ravens Talk with Yolanda. How does Alphana help with time saving measures for content creators who are limited on time?
Well, especially if you're limited on time, I mean, Alphana is what you want to use. Maybe up front, you might put a little bit of time to just make sure it comes out in the style that you want. But honestly, a lot of the content and the prompts, the way it's written, they're done in a way that with good best practices, and they generate good content. The part where people make tweaks a lot of times is going to be subjective or because they have a different goal in mind. So automatically, if you just plugged it in there, click generate and post and don't even think about it, I guarantee that you will be much better off than doing nothing at all. A lot of people come back and they tell me how they're saving at least 10 hours a week alone by using Alphana. And others have even bigger gains if they're creating a massive load of content. So it, it's literally the whole premise of why we built Alphana was to be able to help with productivity, help to save a ton of time. That's why I say this is for people who are already creating video because they've already suffered through the pain of what they do, and they get the maximum benefit when they really truly use Alphana the way it was intended because they're saving time from what they were doing before jumping into Alphana.
Awesome. And then David is a musician. So here he comes. Are there plans to do music content in the future, or is there something that is already in the system and I should have been brought in already?
That's that's awesome, David. So it depends on what you mean by music content. Um, we we haven't really we haven't launched this yet, but we have another platform that we've been building specifically for the music industry, and it ties back into my music background, and that's literally to be able to turn any song or music video into content. So, for example, if you upload a track or if you upload a music video or anything like that, we'll be able to generate things like Spotify motion canvas videos from scratch using AI based on analyzing the beat, the music, the tone, and the lyrics. So we try to understand the music like a human would, almost right as to what a human would. And we'll generate like Spotify Canvas. We'll generate cover arts. We'll generate social clips. We'll generate lyric videos. And so I literally have not talked about this at all in any of my sessions, so you're hearing it here. But it is something that we have, and we're gonna do a bigger public launch for that as well. And so if you want to
Ooh.
test out on the music side, or if anybody here is listening, just reach out to me. I'll get you access, and we could try it out. But it is a separate system from Alphana.
Okay. And Tora's getting James because he had to put his glasses on.
That's a good thing.
That is a good thing. Uh yeah,
It's awesome.
breaking news right here on the show. And I'm gonna ask this question, and I'm gonna tell you, you guys know. Get your last question in. Get your last question in. I'm gonna start flicking lights. You've been warned. One thing that AI we know we have to pay attention to is responsible AI and some of the things that go with that. What is your approach, the Alfano approach to guardrails inside of Alfana?
Yeah, that's actually a great question. There's a lot of aspects to it. One in Alphana, if you tried to, uh, the guardrails that are in place are going to be, we try to not have too many guardrails for stuff that's common that you need to do as part of your content workflows, but at the same time, like things that are going to, like you can't do stuff that's illegal prompted to try to, like how to, I don't know, create a bomb or something like that. And the stuff like that will get blocked if you try to say like, hey, from this video, I want you to, um, or generate an image of like, I don't know, pick an artist, let's just say Eminem as an example, and create an image of Eminem doing XYZ, it's going to block you. It's not going to let you do things with like public figures, celebrities, even like real people right now. It'll also block, like, because it doesn't want to. Uh, we want to be cautious on what people are doing in that aspect, right? Um, and so those are the types of guardrails. A lot of them are natural. We lean on a lot of the big AI companies as well. We work with like OpenAI, and in our other platform, we work with a lot of others, Google, Gemini, Claude, and all these other things. Um, so that's how we think about it. I think in general for AI, outside of Alphana, okay, there's a lot of video generation out there, right? And I don't know how many of you have seen what's going on with Sora 2 when OpenAI came out with it, with the videos that could be generated from it. I had access, same day, and I'm hooked on it. Number one, I've created a ton of AI videos, and it's really really cool to use. Um, but I also get asked a lot, like, well, what are my thoughts in the same sense with AI video content and putting it out there? And my philosophy, my belief is, if you're gonna put a video out there that's not real and that depicts something that's real, label it. Okay, like it's okay to disclose that it was AI. You're still going to get this almost the same amount of engagement. People are still going to watch it. They're still going to engage with it, but disclose it, right? Don't try to mislead people that something was real when it wasn't, right? So either put it in the comment or on social media. There's like a little ticker you can put that, puts it on there, because we're getting into a world where 95% of the internet will be AI generated. Like there is no way to stop it. All like video content, and it's competition even for us if we're on these live sessions, right? And so now there's going to be this moment of like, well, is this real or not? And but we got to get to the point where we're all just going to assume everything is fake, right? Like now your number one assumption is not, oh, is this real? No, it's this is fake. Like, and you need someone to prove to you otherwise that it's not. And so for me, I think the more that we can disclose it, I think it'll be okay, because you could still make entertaining content or educational content using AI, and amazing use cases for it and things that people would engage with. But sometimes I want to know, was it AI or not? And it's okay if the content and the value that was being provided is still accurate. So that's my 2 cents.
So David wants to know how to get a hold of you. I, I feel like I can answer this one. Grab a link to it that's going to be in the description, and I'll drop it also inside here in chat. Try it and join the Alphana community, um, and then come join us on Insider Live on Wednesdays.
You said it perfectly.
And
and
then,
and always happy to connect afterwards as well too. So
yep, Mr. If Sebastian could address the question about 5 hours, as I have a minimum of 12 hours per month of live stream content. What? Okay, I missed a question. What was your question, James, about 5 hours?
Listen, my tortoise said it. I got my glasses on. I'm over here putting videos through right now.
oh
Um,
no.
yeah, listen, we don't mess around, brother. I'm liking what I'm seeing so far, and my challenges and or the opportunity. Right, I have about 12 hours worth of live video that I do on a monthly basis, but I'm seeing for the offer that's on your page, 1,500 AI credits and 5 hours of audio and video uploads. That's a little lean for. Do you have other tiers that you
Oh, we
offer?
we we do. Yeah, yeah. So that tier, the tier right above it gives you 15 hours a month, and it gives you 5,000 AI credits.
Okay.
So for 12-hour live streams, the amount of content you're doing, I would definitely recommend the mid tier. Um, I believe it's maybe another 10 a month, if I'm not mistaken. I have to pull up, but we do have a mid tier on that one.
Okay. Are there
And by the way, that total resets every month. Oh, but you
good?
do 12 hours every month, so it doesn't. You would need the middle tier. Um, but one thing I do too for the first month, because I want you to try it as much as possible, you might consume more credits than you normally would. I'm happy to give you one-time credits up front so that you could literally try it out even more so that, going forward, your monthly plan should be more than enough.
Look at God, boy. Y'all don't know. Okay. Yeah. One
Okay.
more
And
question,
then you
or
also
two
had
more
another
questions.
question, James,
Yeah.
about upload size, file size.
Listen, I'm about to buy, so y'all better let me talk.
You better use
I'm
my
about to.
affiliate link.
I'll wait and buy. Listen, you better hurry and get it because I'm about to buy. A lot of the videos that I do, I'm always they're either in 2K or 4K, and minimum
Okay.
file size is 5 gig. So uploading from local, is there a limit in terms of the file size?
Yeah, we have a 5 gig right now.
So it is 5 gig. Okay,
It is five right now. Um, it's more for technical issues on why we had to restrict it. It is something we're going to work on improving to get it up even higher, but for now it is five. Yeah.
got you.
Yeah.
Lauren, send me that affiliate link. I need to.
I'm
I need to hook
I'm
up with it.
I'm giving it to you here in about 2 seconds.
Gotta make this
People be
money.
getting
Love it.
all impatient.
Uh,
Yes. Get it from Florence.
I'm
She
dropping
is
it and
incredible.
I'm dropping it in chat right now. Oh, well, not if I don't copy it right.
when I got nervous. See that? Hey, Tora, look at it. She
No,
nervous now.
I gave this to my moderators, but I think the way I gave it to them was kind of wonky, so we're not on point. I'm dropping it in chat right now,
Was
sir.
Frank under the bus?
No, it was me. So it's in chat right now to you, Mr. Hicks. Click on
Got
it
it.
and get busy.
Done. Thank you.
Um, are there any other questions? Did I miss any other questions? Because we're gonna shut this down. Just so everyone knows, there are social connection links for X and LinkedIn in chat to connect with Sebastian in social and follow him. I want to encourage everyone.
We can't hear you, or I can't hear you.
I thought it was me. I'm over here checking my ears.
No, I hit
Yeah, I
mute.
thought it was me
I
too.
hit mute. I hit mute. I'm sorry. I look. I'm still a newbie. That's my excuse. I'm still a newbie.
Nervous.
But just make sure that you subscribe to the Alphana channel, and we have dropped in chat the social connections for Sebastian, so you can reach out to him there. You have nothing to lose. I'm gonna come on screen and give him a break because he's been talking a long time. So I'm gonna give you a break for a second, Sebastian. You can heckle James and Tora and them in the back. Um, you have nothing to lose trying the trial and joining the community. And you can ask as many questions as you desire and join the Insider live stream because he definitely answers questions that we ask every week and he always brings fire. So that's my promo. I'm sticking to it. I'm going to bring our guests back. um,
Thank you. Thank you.
thank you. And thanks everybody for telling me uh, that I was muted. All right. So James, that you asked a question about credit packs, James.
The value of the $100 AI credit pack.
Yeah, what? I'm sorry.
What's the value? What really is the AI credit pack? And should I add that to my order? It's $100. So I just want to understand the value behind that upsell.
Yeah, so every month your credits are going to reset. And so those credit packs are like this month you're creating a ton of content, you need more credits now because you don't want to wait till the monthly top up for your credits. So I wouldn't, I mean, as much as I would love for you to buy, I don't think you need to until you see that you're running low on your credits. Then you can buy it. And what's cool about the one-time credit packs is that they last for 12 months. So let's just say you bought a pack of like 5,000 credits, it'll last. So if next month you run low, it'll first use up your monthly, then it'll use up the one time for the extras that you need. So it's more of like a backup, so you don't have to wait till the end of the month to reset every month.
Okay. And then Tora asked a question, is there a content scheduler in the works or in place?
We don't have one in place full transparency. So everything inside of Alphana right now, it's more about the workflow, generating the content, structuring it, but not scheduling. We do have scheduling on our roadmap. It's part of a revamp that we're doing, but I don't have a ETA to give you right now, though. But great question.
And then the last question, then we're going to go. And those who are in the lounge, I'm going to give you about 5 minutes with Sebastian, and then I'm going to let this gentleman get out of here because I've kept him a long time. But the last question is, I believe you've got webhooks on your roadmap as well. Is that
We have webhooks on the yeah. It's not available today, but it's something on the roadmap as well.
okay? Awesome. So we're about to go, but Sebastian, I always like to leave with having my guests share with the community and, in fact, the YouTube family anything that you yourself want to just share, charge, what we need to know, anything you want about you, the product, how we can help. It's up to you. And then we're going to get off of YouTube.
You know, I don't have much. I appreciate everyone. We want to make the product and the experience really helpful for you, and I'm always happy to help in any way if you guys need tips, advice, or anything like that. So what I say is try the product. Don't hold back. Tell me what you love, what you hate. All that helps with our product feedback. We love to iterate on it. So I love to hear from the community, and especially if you create content from it and it came out that you love or it helped drive some sort of metric for you. I'd love to hear about that as well. So that's what I would say. And just what I said earlier, done is better than perfect. Get something out there. Try to automate parts that you don't want to do. That's not part of your creative process. And yeah, I guess that would be it.